this is Eazy, and I'm coming at you with a bike check with a 1 month or so review on my framed bike and what I like about it and what has changed on the bike, just because I wanted to fix some things or just change some things out for a little bit better. First off, the bike in general is pretty good. I really like it. There's just a few things like the seat that I wanted to replace. The one that comes with it's not pivotal. Whenever it sits on this frame here, it sits kind of back and it makes it feel like that you're going to fall off the back of it. I don't know if that's just me. I'm a little bit bigger of a guy, but I got this. Everything I got on here is basically off of clearance. I didn't pay too much money, so that's why the mismatched colors and whatnot, but it works for me. It just gets the job done. Nothing too special. I don't need everything matching with colors and whatnot because you're just riding. You're not looking at your bike while you're riding. Although I have gotten quite a few comments on the bike on how they like the bike with the Cubs theme and whatnot. So it's really cool just to get recognized for the bike just because of that. But let's get started here. So the seat, I got a kink seat. Has this weird picture of a girl on there. Like I said, it was on clearance. It was like 10 bucks. The adjustable stem here, that was like 7 bucks, both on clearance. That's why that's green. This one's pink, red, whatever you want to call it, with a girl's face on it. But it's kink, it's a good seat, and you can adjust it however you want right there, so it fits a lot better. So now I can actually sit on it without feeling like I'm falling off the back. The second thing I replaced was the grips, the original grips, right here in the bag. Kind of felt like an old play style bike, so I didn't really want those old grips, but I did keep them just in case I tear these up and I can't use them anymore, that I have a backup pair. They are a foam style grip, which I really like. Gives me a lot of grip with my hands and whatnot, and the overall feel is just really good. The ends do tear up from whenever you fall and the bike hits the ground. I was able to snag the grips for a discount as well, so I paid like 10 bucks for the grips, so that's pretty awesome. The pegs I got added to the bike. Those I didn't have to pay anything for. I have a friend that jumped back into the hobby as well. He bought a used bike online, and it came with free set of 4 pegs, so he gave me 2 pegs to put on the bike. I've used them once or twice, haven't really gotten the guts to jump on top of a bar and grind it. I'm not quite sure on how to do that just yet, but I'm working towards it. And then for the gripes that I have for the bike, it's a little bit heavy. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe a little bit lighter of a bike would help me out with doing some of my tricks that I'm trying to do, but for the most part, I'm getting my tricks down. It's taking a little bit of time, but I'm getting there. There is a few maintenance things to the bike that you may not realize while you're coming up and wanting to ride a bike. Once you get the bike, you may want to get these things so you're not sidelined and you can't ride your bike. For instance, whenever I've been doing my 180s and I've been landing on this back wheel, it's been pushing it towards the side to where it won't spin. So then I didn't realize that you actually have to adjust your spokes. So if your spokes get adjusted and the wheel goes to one side, you can tighten them or loosen them depending on what is needed, which way it's leaning, and you can go ahead and fix your wheel that way. One thing here, a spoke adjuster, you can go ahead and get to adjust these things. You just got to tighten them, loosen them. Each bike may be different, so you got to look and figure out which way is tightening and which way is loosening. But basically, whichever wheel is touching, or whichever side is touching, you want to take the opposite spoke, which is on the opposite side of the wheel, and you want to tighten those so it pulls it back in. I didn't know that. I had to look it up online because I thought I broke my bike. I thought the wheels were flexing and whatnot, but it's just pretty common. You just got to maintain it. You got to keep those spokes tightened and loosened and adjusted correctly so your wheel stays balanced and you don't have any problems with the rubbing. Also, you may run across some issues where the wheel and the chain get too loose because maybe they're not tightened up enough and your wheel is coming off or just going onto the frame a little bit more. So make sure you have a ratchet set with an extension, especially if you have pegs on it. You want to be able to, with an extension, you want to go ahead and get up in there so you can get to your bolt. Take that off, tighten it up. Make sure you have the right socket sizes. Mine have a little smaller bit up front, bigger bit in the back. Whenever you go to the park, make sure you bring in everything because things do come loose and you're going to have to tighten it unless you want to just call it for a day. One thing I don't have with me right now are the Allen wrenches, because talking about adjusting things, your bars, your handlebars for one, will move occasionally from time to time depending on how much you've been riding on it. At first with a new bike, they move around a lot, so you got to make sure you keep tightening those down. Your seat can adjust, and if it's too tight, you won't be able to knock it back. So you're going to have to adjust it with the Allen wrenches. The worst thing about the bike for me is the crank is a little bit weak for me for crashes. So far I've been crashing quite a bit, as you can see here. But with one of those crashes, I had thrown the bike out from under me. The bike went up in the air, landed right on the pedal, pushed the pedal, the crank in, and then it wouldn't be able to go around the frame here. So what I did was, I just took the crank, put it by the bar here, got me a pry bar, and I pried it back out so I can go ahead and continue to ride. Getting a replacement one of those is like $75 plus. So like I said, I'm getting everything on a discount, so I didn't want to go ahead and put half the money that I paid for the bike back into just some pedals or your crank. So I just went ahead and bent it back out. But now whenever I'm pedaling, it makes like a weird noise whenever it's going through, and you can feel it because it's not level, it's not even. But besides that, the bike's been holding up really, really well. Even for not having double-walled tires, I've been doing the ramps, I've been doing my 180s, or attempting my 180s at least, and I haven't had any wheel warpage or damage to the wheels that I can tell of, besides the adjusting the spokes. And overall, it's been a real good bike for me for $200, brand new. So if you have any questions or comments about the framed bike, please leave it down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for stopping by, I really appreciate it. This is Easy Target, and I'm out.